So in Perceivable, we have different guidelines. So if I say guideline, then I would say in Perceivable, what we have actually, we have from 1.1 to 1.4. These are the guidelines we have under this. We have in this, we in operable, we have 2.1 to 2.5. Okay. And then in understandable, we have the guideline which is starting from 3.1, and I guess it will be something, actually I don't know about that, but yes, there will be some guideline there which will be starting from 3.1, and also on robust we'll be having starting from 4.1. So approx we have around 16-20 guideline under this principle. Okay, so we'll go one by one. Okay, so if you talk about the perceivable, so perceivables means like, when we apply this principle, that means visually impaired users, the person who cannot see, right? So visually impaired person or users must be able to receive information via sound and touch. So we should be having our application in a such a way that whatever operation is performing through us on web page, it should announce. Okay, so when I say it should announce, that means we should be having proper labels, all controls. Okay, so let's say if I'm opening a page, right? If I'm opening a page, and here you will say that progress bar is going on, right? If the page is start loading, so it should announce that. If I'm navigating to this Google page, it should announce that. So whatever I'm doing on my laptop, it should announce, because for blind user, they don't have another way to know what is happening on the page, what is happening on the laptop. Okay, another thing, so hearing impaired, now the person who cannot hear, so hearing impaired users must be able to receive information via sighted. So they should, say the person cannot hear anything, that should person see all the things on the page. So let's say if we have one video, right, and that video is playing, in this case we should be able to give a proper caption and transcript, because that person cannot hear anything, right, on that video. So in this case, we should be giving some alternative way to that person to get the information that what is the purpose of that video, actually what they are saying. So we should be having proper transcript or caption. Okay, then for low vision, actually for low vision users must be able to receive information with alternative formatting or zoomed to large size. So we should allow our users to zoom in. So if they can come here, they are having low vision, they should able to zoom in from here, and all the contents are showing here should show properly. It's not like these contents are overlapping or some content is missing or something like that. It should not be. All the content should show properly on the page. And then for color deficiency, so for color deficiency, users must be able to receive information without use of color. Let's say I have, let's say if I go to Amazon, all right. So we should not, let me go to 100 size. Okay. So if I open anything here, we should have a different option here. So let's say if I come here, it will tell you that click to select space gray. Or here, if you come here, it will say silver. If you come here, and as well as you can see that the color is changing here as well. So let's say the person who is having a color or color blind, actually, let's say the person is a color blind. For that person is like, the color is same. It's like, black and white only. So in this case, that for that person, it will be very difficult to purchase his choice or her choice a phone, right? For that, what should we do? Actually, we should be giving some alternative way. We should not completely rely on a color. If I say red, black, if I give the color here, and if I'm not giving this label there, it will be very difficult for that person to choose the phone, actually, whatever he want. So in this case, we should give some alternative way. We should not completely rely on a color. So let's say if I have one chart here. So if I say, here that this is I'm working on one project, and if I say this is for the very bad performance, this is we are on going on track, something like that, it will not work for blind color blind users actually, because this will be black and white for them. So instead of this one, we should be giving label to that as well. All right. So label should be there. So what Perceivable is saying, in Perceivable principle, it's saying we should have to convey our things to all kind of people in different way actually. If you're talking about hearing impaired users, we should be having some different way to provide the information. If you're talking about the visual impaired users, we should be providing information through sound. Okay. If the person is a low vision, then we should be providing we should be having, or we should be allowing that person to zoom in the page. And if the person is having color deficiency or color blindness, then that we should be having some other way to provide the information. So title should be there, label should be there, all these things should be there. So now let's come to a first guideline. So what guideline we are having? We say it's operable. I'm just saying operable 1.1. So operable 1.1 says a text equivalent. So we already discussed this actually just now. Equivalent. Okay. So this is what it is. This is the first guideline which we have in a operable. Then another will be having a based media. It will be 1. Then another will be having there is adaptable. So ADA. This all will come under a or operable. It's 1.3. Okay. And then another will be having a distinguishable. So it will be.
Yeah, what are these numbers actually? What does that mean? Those are specific guidelines or rules or something.
This is the guideline actually, Ravi sir. And here, whenever we log the issue, we have to give this guideline number there as well. Because see, let's say if we are logging issue, then we have to say that it is violating 1.2 guideline. It's violating 1.1 guideline, like that.
Okay.
So, but in interview as well, no one will ask you all this, everything, exact, like, 1.1, 1.31. But we should know that, what kind of guidelines we are having in that WCAG.
We cannot memorize it, but
we cannot remember actually. But yeah, anyway, when we work there, we also have this guideline in front of us actually. So whenever we see an issue, we can write down that. Yes.
Okay.
So that's not a problem.
Test based. What is that? Mid.
Which one?
Second one, 1.2.
It's a media.
Media.
So, based media. Yeah. And 1.4. So let's discuss all 4 actually. So when you say text equivalent, so text equivalent is saying that provide an alternative for any non-text content so that it can be changed into other form people needs, such as large print, braille, speech, symbols, and simpler language. So now how to implement it actually? So if I go to my Amazon and let me see any image here. So let's say this is the image. If I right click on this, whenever you will perform accessibility testing, you have to inspect that. Okay. So you have to just go to click inspect. If you come here, you will see that this is the A, which is an anchor tag. Okay. Which is a link. And if I come here, so for this actually they didn't provide any alternative text, but let me show you some example where we should be having some alternative text as well. So see, so this is the iPhone Here I have given image ALT, which is alternative text, and I have given the information under that actually. So iPhone, access, the RAM and everything, whatever we needed actually, whatever we want to communicate to our users. So this information will not be visible for the visual person, like the person who can see the screen. But when you will come with your screen reader on this image, it will read out this thing. It will read out Apple iPhone XS 256 GB, and this information will read by a screen reader. So it will help a blind users actually. So whenever the person will start navigating on this page, and as soon as that person will come to this image, that screen reader which we have, like NVDA, JAWS, voiceover, different screen reader we have, right? So the person will come here on this image, and this information will be read out. Okay, so that's why we are saying in this equivalent we should be all informative images should have alternative text. If we have some decorative images, then we should not be having alternative text. Now let's say there are some, just like if you talk about this line, if you use this line for decorative purpose, right? There's no need to give alternative text to this actually. So for that we can have, here they didn't provide anything actually, but let me see any other example here where they have used alternate text which is null. So I'm just finding anything here which is pure decorative actually. So I'm just looking for that. So what image they have? See, so this one, they don't want this to read by the screen reader, so that's why they have given alter ALT, but they didn't provide any value to this actually. If you see this one, they didn't give any value inside it. So it should be having this ALT attributes there, okay, but we will not provide any value to that. So for decorative image, we will be having alternative text there, ALT text there, but will not provide any value, which will be null. If we will not provide any value, that means it's null. There's no value there. So if you will not provide this, you will say like there's no sense, right? Then why should we provide this? We can have it, we can remove it, right, from here. But if you'll remove from here, that's fine. There's no issue. But when you will run your automation tool, when you will check this application with automation tool, it will throw you error. It will give you error that there's some issue here. So because of that, you can just give the ALT there, but don't provide any value. Okay. So for alternative text, there's no need to. If you go for interview, they will ask you this question that, okay, if you have informative image, then what should you do? If you have decorative image, then what should we do? We should not provide any alternative text for this. If you have informative images, okay, because this is informative for me, right? It's not make sense for me actually. But if I come here and if someone come to this image, this is informative for me. So for this, I should be providing alternative text. So wherever you find which is very informative, okay, you have to provide alternative text for that. If you come to picture, if you see here, there's a accessibility. Let's see. So if I come here, example, let me find some example for you here. So here, whenever we see any captcha, we see this kind of images there, right? But it's very hard and this is the auto-generated images. We have to see the images and we have to type that text in a text box. But it's very tough, right, for the blind users to see. They cannot see, right, and they cannot even read this. So that's why they give some other option, right? If you observe there, so they will give some option to click on the audio. It will read some text, and you will fill that text into a text box, and you will click OK, and you will go. You will navigate to another page actually. Okay, this is how you do actually. So let me see. Because see, we cannot have only one option there. If you will have one option, that image, you have to read the image text, you have to read the image text, and then you have to fill that. Then it will be very tough. See, they will give this option as well. So let's say 10 plus. But if it is an image, then it will be again difficult for that person to know if that image is changing every time. Because see, image will not read by the screen reader. It will read, but for one time it's okay. But next time, if the figure is changed, let's say it come 12 plus 4, then again it will be difficult for that person. So we should be having some other way through which we can read, and we can enter that text into a text box, and we can click on submit button or OK button, and it will navigate to another page. So this is how it will be. Caption. All right, I'm just finding a neat good example for you. So see, so this is the image, and you have to write that here actually. So we will be providing this, as well as we will be providing some audio play here option here, so that that person will understand that. And yeah, and then the same text will enter here. If that is also not working, we'll give some other way actually. So we'll give a multiple way, so that person can enter that into a captcha text field. All right, so these are the way which we use actually when we are using captcha. So basically, my purpose to just show you here is that when you are using any images, when you are using anything actually, we will be giving alternative way to do it. Because see, if suppose one way is not working for one person, that person can go to another way, okay, and navigate on the page. All right, so this is the one which we have here, okay. And then we talk about the time based. So when we say time based, so what it says, so time based said provide. If I come to this one, we will say provide alternative text, ALT, I would say ALT, okay, which is alternative text. No, it's a provide alternative way for time based media. So what it means? It means provide a caption, because that person, if that person cannot hear, we should be having caption for video, all videos. We should be having audio transcript. Okay, we should be having transcript for audios, and we should be having a audio. Okay, so audio description. Okay, so this thing we should be providing for time-based media. Okay, so whenever you will be working on any project, and let's say if you have any video there which we have to validate, or if you have any audio there, you should be looking for this actually. If one of this is not there, then you have to raise an issue, then and you have to mention that this is violating 1.2 guideline, and you need to provide, and they will look into that actually. If it is not there, developer or the UX team or whatever there, they will provide you the caption for that video. If it is caption is not there, if let's say if you are having only audio, then they will be, if you say like, okay, audio is not having a transcript, they will provide you transcript as well. So video, whatever video, let's say if I come here, we'll see everything one by one. Let's come to, okay, this here. So if I come here, you will be having transcript. This should be there. So whatever the things will be happen in this video, we should be having everything here. Okay, and we should be having option to turn on and turn off that caption.
Yeah, I heard, Bharat, I heard there is some kind of a transcript software also available nowadays for anything. Is that true?
Yes, it's available. Yes. But normally we don't use actually, Ravi sir. We ask developer to, just have a transcript below or, next to that actually video.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it will be there. And if I come here, this is the description as well they have given here. So the whose person is speaking, what the person is saying, we should be having all these details so that, the person who will help, the person, let's say the person is blind and that person cannot even hear. In this case as well, if you are having a transcript or transcript or description, that person can use a braille device. So there's one device we have here, so which is a braille device. Yeah, so I got it lost. So here that the device which you can also look into that, so it's a braille device for blinds. So if you see, it will be like this actually. So let me just go to all the blind users use this actually. So they will be having this one. So what they will do, they will be navigating to your description and they will be touching this keyboard actually. This is kind of keyboard and they will feel that, okay, what is written there? See. So this is how they read if the person is blind and deaf both. So they will be using a braille device to read the content. Okay. So that's why we should be having, if suppose we are not having the transcript and description, they will not able to read the contents. So for them, there's no sense of having that video actually. All right. So that's why they use actually for this one. Now let's look into the third one. Adaptable. When we say adaptable, that means create a content that can be presented in a different way. For example, simple layout. So without losing information and structure. So if I come here, let's say, if I come here and if I go to a table, so let me just, so it will be table, accessibility. Okay, so if I come here, table, description, association. So let's say by visually we can see that this is the header we have and this is also a row header we have here. But if the person is reading this table, that person should understand that this 5 belong to age and J key. If I come here, the person should understand that this belong to April 5 belong to birthday and this is belong to J key. If there is no relation, if you are having the cell data, this cell data is not having relationship with this header and row header, there's no sense of having this table actually, because they will be confused in this case. If they will come on, they will say only just 5, then you will not understand, like, what 5 is actually. This 5 is age, this belong to JQ or width. So we should be having proper relationship here. And also, just like as we discussed that every page have a title, right? Our every web page has a title, same as we should be having a caption. Caption is just like a title for table. So when we talk about let's say if someone asks you that, okay, how you can make your table accessible? So to make our table accessible, we should be having a caption. We should be having a table header, column header, row header. And that row header and column header should be associated with a sales. If they are not associated with the sale, it will not announce properly. So let's see how it's associated here. So if I come here, see the first rule that we should be having a caption. Caption is just like a title for table. Okay. Another thing, let's see if I come here, if I say row, so we'll see we have a column header th, which is for column. So we have 3 column. All right. So if I come here, we have 3 column, 1, 2, 3, and we are having this column how? With a scope, call, 3 here. And then if I come to if I come here, if I check further, it will say row. So we also have a table header for row. first 3 was for column, this is for row, and one row, one header we have is Jackie, and then another one is Beth. But in this row, I have one header, row header, and another we have data. This is the sale data. So that's why we are saying one is a row header, and then we have data, there's data or
One
table data.
question.
Yep.
For the column headers, they have described it all together in one shot for the table. But the row headers have been described as a first row header, then the row value.
Yeah, because see, under this row, you are also having this sales as well, right?
Yeah.
In this row, you are having
that
this.
is the format, is it? Standard
Yes.
format.
Yes.
Always columns. Columns will be table columns headers will be done first, and then the rows.
Yes. If suppose you are not having this row header, you can remove this line. There's no need to have this line. If suppose you have this, like, there's no name here actually. You say you just want to have without header, you will be removing this one actually. You will just mention TD JK, that's it. Just like here, TD JK. You will not. But here we are considering JK as a header. And all these attributes belong to JK. Okay.
Got it.
So if I come here in, let's say another example here. If you see here, so this is a little complex actually. So here we have two row, which is associated with one header, right? So here, if I see this one, and let me select. Okay, let me select. All right. So if I come here, if I see this, again we are having caption. In caption, we have a table body. In table body, if I come here, we'll be having a first column. This is also row for me, right? If I see this one as this one, this is one row for me. So in this row, TR will come here, table row. In table row, we have headers, column headers. Same we just saw before as well. So this is one row for me. This entire is a one row for me. In this, we are having different columns. So we are having different column here. One column, two column, and three column. We didn't give anything here because see, this column do not have any value, or it's not having any text actually. So we just kept it as a blank. But if you have text to that column, you have to mention here that age, name, and birth. One is done, one row is done, which is having header only, column header. Another row, let's come here. Here we have span 2 actually, because see, it's having 2 row associated with this one row actually. So 2 row with this one. So it says a row span 2. So what we did basically, we merged actually. We merged 2 row into 1. So that's why 2 here is scope. Again, it's row. We know that it's a row. And in this row, we are having this birth. If you come here down, we have given the value here. So one row is its header here, and then two value 5 and 5th. So if you will give like this, then it will announce. Let's say it's run. Let's run it actually. We should be always having row header and column header on the table, and caption should be there as well. Basically, we will be running our screen reader and we'll be checking all this, but we should know that, how it looks like, when we just check the code.
Okay.
So what it's saying here, let's hear it. Okay, so let's navigate on this. So I'm on column of birthday. So let me go down actually. If I'm on column last one actually. See, it's announcing the JK name as well. If you'll not have proper association, if you will not have proper header, column header and row header, it will not announce that header name. Yes, otherwise it will announce only just January 14. That's it, which will not. say age column. Now I can understand that I'm under a age column.
Yeah, in between it was getting cut off. Were you speaking or not?
Sorry, Ravi?
Okay, this is reading, right?
It's reading.
Right.
Are you able to hear or no?
Parth, were you able to hear?
No, Ravi, I cannot hear
Okay,
anything.
so let me do one thing for that.
You need to share audio.
I was thinking like, you are able to hear it actually. So let me turn on my speech viewer. Okay.
Yeah, I think when you share the screen, there is an option where you can share audio also. You have to click that.
No. I think for this actually, we always face this issue actually.
Oh, I see.
My voice is coming there, then it should this voice should come there as well. So sometimes we face this kind of issue. So
No.
Okay.
I know Zoom. In
Yep.
Zoom, when you're sharing the screen,
Let me do it.
directly share it.
Meet and
Now we can hear.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So
NVD
let's
shell
navigate
web
on this
aim.
actual table again.
Mhm,
Anyway, you can able to see all my
Show
the
speech
command
viewer
which
on
is reading. You will able to see here actually.
Yeah.
So
No next table. Shelley's daughter's table. Shelley's daughter's table with 4 rows, not in a tables. Row 1 column, name column 2 name, age column 3 age, birthday column 4 birthday, edge of table. Age column, name column by birth Jackie row 2 Jackie. Age column 3 5.
So now if you can see this, it's saying properly that age column age. So where we have the column is a third one, age is a third one actually. Okay, if you say name column 3 and name column 2 name actually. So it's saying that the column is a second column actually. So if I navigate, let me navigate on the birthday column. So I'm going there.
Birthday column 4 April 5th.
Okay, now
By birth Beth row 3 birthday column 3 January 14th.
so now it's saying that Beth row 3, which is there from starting from
How
birthday.
how does it stop? Is it because based on your mouse movement or what?
I'm using only just my keyboard.
Oh, so in the keyboard, wherever you move, that it will read that one.
Yeah, it will read that one. And same thing blind people use actually.
Okay.
When they are navigating on the page. So
In
it's
the keyboard, you use the arrows, is it?
yes. I'll tell you. Like all the shortcut key which we have, different shortcut key we have for a different screen reader actually. So we'll work on that. But for your knowledge, like how we are having all the information there. So we are having column row, column header there, and based on that, the table is reading. The screen reader is reading all the table contents like this. So it's saying if I will not have this column row and column header and row header, it will not announce like that actually. Here it's saying when I'm going to birthday column January 14, it's saying that Beth row 3 birthday column 3 January 14. So that's why we should be having proper association. We should be having all this thing there, like caption, column header, row header, and then it will read your table properly. If it is not there, then it will only just read the January 14. And if it says January 14, you are not sure that this January 14 for birth or marriage. Okay, so that's why we use this actually. And if I come here, let me just go to
System clock. NVDA speech banner landmark web aim address and search web aim creating accessible tables data table.
You can see that there's one more skip to main content. This is also a guideline. This is also a guideline which we have, and it says like if the person is having so many items in a menu, okay, on navigation bar, then we should be having option to skip that content and directly jumping on a main landmark. Okay, so I'll just skip that. I'll come.
Heading level navigation landmark list with 5 items link services.
It's saying list of 5 items. Which 5 items?
NVD articles, resources, edit read only multi-line blank. Project, web, link articles, link resources, link projects, link community. Out of list search landmark search, edit submenu has autocomplete. Link introduction to web accessibility. Search landmark search. Edit submenu has autocomplete button submit search.
So here we have given proper label to that, and that's why it's announcing search landmark. First of all, because see, this search is on a search landmark. So as I discussed in last meeting that, whenever we design our page, we always have a landmark. We divide our page in a different landmark so that I can easily jump from here to there actually. So it's saying search landmark, search edit submenu has autocomplete. Okay, and button submit search. So let's say if I come here,
banner landmark A C E S C
so
has autocomplete.
Autocomplete is just like, when let's say I have searched for APM or for some other thing, right? It will save that search data for you.
A
And
PIM 1
you
of
can
1.
select from there. So that's for autocomplete we have used. If I come here and if I navigate on this,
Menu
if
associate
I
the
go to
web
inspect,
aim, creating
you see
accessible
all this
tables,
option
data
here.
tables. 4.
So what is saying?
Great label. Input.
Input text, name is there,
Equals.
ID is there,
Image.
image, they have used this image.
4.
And here
Method
they have used
equals.
this one actually. So in
Get
this role, action, search ID.
Site search.
If I search for this one,
No. 1. Selection removed.
let me
Edit. Selection. Greater.
search
Page
class.
DO. Edit
So
class equals search.
let me search.
Select 2 of 6. 3 of 6. 4 of 5 of 6. 6 of 6. 1 of 6. Style.
So they have
HD
used some search
page
class
DOM
here.
/search
Just
link.
like, Ravi sir, we discussed that in Cilium that, when we want to use all the attributes from one place to another place, we'll be having a class or we'll be having method. So same thing in CSS, in HTML as well, we have a CSS where we write all the attributes there and we just call that. So here as well, what we did here. So if I come to
elements, clickables, introduction to web aim, document.
If you see this
action,
this class,
search,
this class have
edit class
all
equals
the,
search.
I would say style or everything, whatever we want to do with this particular
Search.
attributes or for this control actually,
Head
we are
container.
writing all the color or I would say style and everything will be writing in this class actually and will be calling only. So if I say
blank less p greater expanded 1 of 2 level 7.
So to have a same kind of layout or I mean yes to have a same kind of layout, we just call a class actually. In class we define all the attributes which we call like okay, CSS. We create a CSS file and we apply that CSS file for all the attributes where we want actually. And so let's say I want to have a unique
introduction to web access elements.
If I want to have a
clickable
unique design
introduction
across
to
the application,
web aim elements
here I
slash
use
intro.
If I remove this one, the class will be removed here. This is most probably
less p greater web aim introduction.
Alignment and everything is gone now. So to have my page properly or to have a proper look and feel actually, I just call my CSS classes or CSS class I would say here, and it will give you a proper layout actually I would say. So this is how we do, and this is using a CSS. So also when we talk about
Microsoft
HTML,
edit age,
we also have CSS. CSS is a cascading style sheet.
Sheet 1 table.
When we want to have a global changes on our web page, we use CSS there.
Minimize web aim, creating accessible tables, data tables.
So if I come here,
clickable introduction to web aim, elements panel property page, page DOM tree view, level 9 less input type equals
so this is label. Label is already given
4,
there.
Less search. Edit search.
Also, if I want, I can also
less
have
input type.
More thing here.
Menu submenu.
Say edit.
Document.
And
elements panel. Space.
It's up to me actually.
L. T. S.
And
quote. H. Quote. Action. Web aim, creating
It will be there
introduction to
actually.
web accessibility.
How are
But
you
see,
able to edit that page?
sorry, let me just stop it. Just a minute.
Exit and
How,
web.
Yep,
how are you able to edit? Normally, you're not able. You
I can
cannot.
edit actually, but it will not save actually. It will not save there at their end actually. If as
Oh,
soon as I will refresh it, I will back to my old design actually.
okay.
Yeah.
I
So
asked this question to
I can
PowerPoint.
edit it. I can do all the things like I can check all these things from here. But as soon as I will refresh it, it will be again come to that same format actually. Yes.
So when you edit it and okay, show us how it happens.
Yeah.
Now you have to redo it all over again.
Yes. So that's fine actually. So what I was telling you, see here as well, you can see that this is the image. So if I see here, this is my image, right? Search image. For this, I'm having this search alternative text for this. Okay. If I will not have this one, let's remove this one now. We'll see this. We just discuss that, So now I don't have any search alternative text for this. If I run my Caption reader, we'll see, how it's announced actually.
Okay, web aim, introduction to web, banner landmark, button.
You hear it?
Search, button.
It's saying only button.
Yeah.
So button will not help me actually. How do I know that this is the search button or what it is? So for
introduction to web,
we should be having proper alternative text for that. Okay, so button could be anything, right? On this application. So we should be having proper meaningful label for that. And to give the meaningful label, we use alternative text there. Okay, we should be having,
search.
if suppose I'm not having this
search.
One, let's say
search.
If I'm removing
Edit
this one,
S. Level 7 less
what I have
people.
to search here? Is this for search? Is this for what actually? Should be having proper visible label as well. So label, visible label, and placeholder. If I say, someone will ask you a question in interview as well that let's say
/ action / label head less clickable, select an web aim elements panel proper menu submenu.
If I say
document elements pan class p e o r equal quote x a quote less in
now,
web aim.
It's saying search. Oh, I think
style.
spelling mistake, but that's fine. It's saying search. But is this search okay for me? Should I go with the visible label or should I go with the placeholder? I should not go with this placeholder because as soon as I will click on this
banner landmark,
I start writing, my placeholder text is gone. Now I'm not sure what this field is all about actually. So we should be always having, if you are giving this placeholder, that's fine, you can give this, but as well you should be giving that visible label as well with this. So with this placeholder
search.
We should be having this one as well.
Menu submenu.
Like
document. H.
You should be having
search.
this one as well.
S. Level 5.
Now we come
search.
to know that okay, yeah, this is for search actually, or search. For whatever things you want to give, you can give here. We should not
search. Selection
only
remove.
rely
web
on
aim.
this placeholder.
Creating accessible tables, data tables document.
Okay, so whenever this is also entry question that we should be having only just a visible label, or we should be good with if you are having a placeholder. This is placeholder for you. This one, no, this is not good actually, because as soon as you will start writing in this text box, it will be gone. It's gone. So if you are giving as an alternative way, you can give this, but you should be always having this visible label as well. When we are having button, we should be having proper alternative text for that.
Okay. Professor, I have one more question. If suppose you build a website and if you want to put is a phone number, is a customer client phone number, client address, can I use the placeholder or you can use visible?
You should be having a visible actually. Placeholder will not work actually.
Okay. Yeah. Because usually my professor teach me when I build the website for HTML, They usually use the
No,
placeholder
that's
for
if
you
that
want.
application will come. Yeah, if that application will come for accessibility testing, it will be failed.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
you can design it actually. That's not a problem. But if you will have that only just placeholder, it will fail with respect to WCAG guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's always good to have a visible label as well as if you want to have it, you can have it. That's not a problem. But you should be having visible label as well.
Okay, Professor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how we do actually. So, okay. So we just saw here, if I come here, we just saw test equivalent, time-based, where we have to use all our caption, audio transcript. Okay. And if I talk about the adaptability, we just saw like, okay, we should be having alternative text. And I would say header, table header, we will come on table headers. We'll say captions under the table headers. Okay. Table headers, it could be column or row, both. Okay. And what else we just saw? And then reading order should be proper. So when you say, if I'm here, if I just navigate on this page, then your focus should go properly. See? It's not skipping any web elements actually. It's going one by one, each and every element. Okay, so this is also comes under adaptable actually. Okay, so that you also have to check that your focus is going properly or not. Okay, then also if you just zoom in, if I just zoom in this page, okay, so these things we have in in adaptable actually. So then having label, proper label. Okay, we just saw that label should be there, so visible label should be there. We should avoid a placeholder, but along with visible label, if you want to give, you can give that. It's not a problem. But alone placeholder will not work. Okay, so this is there, and so yeah, these things will come under this. In distinguishable, we'll be having different. So let's say we have to make sure that we are using a proper color contrast. So if we'll be coming here, color contrast. If I say color contrast, that means if I come here and this will create an issue for I would say low vision. If the person have a low vision actually. So if I come here, if I select this one, okay, let me just resize this. So if I come here, if I just go to any limit, see, it's giving you that this is a 363636, right? The color font actually. So I can say, I can go to color contrast analyzer. I can say, what was that? My foreground color was 363636, right? This was my color, and my background was white actually. So if I come here, so here we can see the color contrast actually. So if there is an issue here, it's not issue because see, if I come here, you can see here it's saying WCAG AA pass, no issue. AAA pass. If this is with the normal text, if your text is bigger than 18 point, then we should be having this also pass with that as well, and this also pass. So this combination, this one and this one, if I apply on my web page, it will be, it's good actually to use actually, because see here, as per the guideline, as per the AA, we should be having more than 4.5:1. This one. If you have more than this, you're good to go. There's no issue. So let's say I take one more here from here. So if I come here, and here in Chrome browser, we have one more facility. There's no need to go anywhere. But if suppose you're not able to capture that element properly, then you have to check manually. So if I come here, see, can you see my, if I come to this text, it's saying color contrast 11.58, which is A, and right mark is there. So that means there's no need to go and check on with different tool actually. you can directly check here and you can pass it actually. If suppose this is less than 4.5, okay, then it will be failed. So let me do one thing. Let me change it to something else. So if I come color contrast, all right. So let me make it fail actually. I'm just trying to fail it actually. So it's fail. See, it's changing here. So I'm saying fail. Now this, if I use this foreground and this background, my condition will fail because it's saying 4.5. If I see, as soon as I will go close to 4.5, it will pass. Say it's pass, but it's fail for AAA. AAA says that it should be more than 7 actually. So if I come here, it says as soon as I will reach to 7, it's pass. So whenever, let's say if your client is asking to check for AAA, then it should be more than 7, ratio 1. But if saying like you have to test, you have to perform testing only for AA, then your condition will satisfy it here. If you go below this, it will fail. So if I check this one, if I come here, if I hover on this, see, it's saying AA 3.78, and there is an exclamation mark there for contrast. So it's failing for you. So you cannot have this combination on your page. If it is there, then that's failing. So that you have to check for color contrast. Okay, clear?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, this is what you have to, when you are designing your web page, you have to make sure that whatever the combination you are using there for foreground or background, it should be passing. I mean, if suppose going with the AA, then it should be 4.5 ratio should be there actually. Okay. If it is AAA, you are designing your web page with respect to AAA, then it should be more than 7, ratio 1. Okay. So that is there. All right. Any question from whatever we discussed today? Or you're good with that? Okay. So this should be there actually. Yes. So this is what we discussed today. Whenever you will be logging your issue, you have to give this number actually, guideline number there.
And testing and reporting defects.
Yeah. So yes. All right. Then yeah, just practice on this. We'll be covering some more guideline because see, I want you to first of all familiar with all the guidelines with examples so that whenever you will be testing any application, you should know that how to test it actually. If they are saying that okay, you have video, so what things you will be checking? You will be checking all this. If say you have to check for color contrast, you will be checking with this one actually. If you're saying that okay, you have to check for test equivalent, then what things you'll be checking? You will be checking for decorative. It should not be alternative text there. If it is informative, you should be having alternative text there. Okay, so this thing you have to check there. Right? It's very easy. See, no one will ask you about the coding and all that there because see, we work as a manual tester there. We have to just find the issue there. Okay, we have to run. This is what I did actually. Normally, no one do all this actually. What they do, they just run our string reader tool. And they just check whether this is announcing properly or not. This is saying button, they will log the issue. They will not go and check in. They will not just click on inspect and they will not check the code. No, as soon as they will hear button for this, they will, if a string reader is announcing button for this, they will log the issue. That's it. They will not do anything actually. So, but we should know that, why it's announcing button. What is the reason behind it actually? So that we can give some suggestion as well that, okay, this is not having any label. And that's why it's announcing only just button. So we should know that. But normally people don't do that actually. They just file the issue. That's it. And developer will take care of that.